Let's call to order the Sparks City Council meeting for Monday, April 13th with a roll call.
Mayor Lawson.
Here.
Council members Abbott.
Here.
Vanderwell. Here. Anderson.
Here.
Bybee.
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
City Attorney Duncan. Here. City Manager Lawson.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Okay, invocation today by Dan Williams. Dan?
This is the Baha'i prayer for America. O thou kind Lord, this gathering is turning to thee. These hearts are radiant with thy love. These minds and spirits are exhilarated by the message of thy glad tidings. O God, let this American democracy become glorious in spiritual degrees, even as it has aspired to material degrees, and render this just government victorious. Confirm this revered nation to upraise the standard of the oneness of humanity, to promulgate the most great peace, to become thereby most glorious and praiseworthy among all the nations of the world. O God, this American nation is worthy of thy favors and is deserving of thy mercy. Make it precious and near to thee through thy bounty and bestowal.
Thank you. Will you lead us in the pledge, Ms. Vanderwell?
Yes, if you'll please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, moving on to public comment. We have a list here. There we go. They're not in order. Well, sometimes I have a hard time reading the handwriting, especially without glasses today. Well, let's start with Louisa Scoville, followed by Robert Davenport.
Doesn't matter which microphone I use? No? Hello? Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Louisa Scoville, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak briefly today. I am a resident of the city of Sparks, and I have been fortunate enough to live in Northern Nevada for almost 40 years. The reason I am speaking today is this. I'm a resident and homeowner in Wingfield Springs at Red Hawk. Along with many of my neighbors and community members, I am very concerned about the proposal to tear down the lake's course in order to build over 700 single and multifamily homes on those grounds. These concerns are many and they are varied. They include preservation of open space and quality of life. Red Hawk is home to 2 beautiful golf courses, many fundraiser events, important wetlands and open space for wildlife, and much, much more. When I became a homeowner at Red Hawk in 1999, there was a whole lot of open space, a lot of dirt, and our local neighborhood bar and grill that we call David's, we called it Freddy's Roost, and a lot of us still do. Like many others, we were relying on the master plan that created an important and quality green corridor in Sparks that includes the Red Hawk Golf Course as the central open space amenity. The impact of over 700 homes to the already troubled infrastructure, which is something that our community battles with daily, is of huge concern, both for quality of life and for significant safety reasons. The concerns and the worry over the negative impact to property values can't be overstated. As the people of the city of Sparks, we vote for all of you. And in doing so, we trust that when the time comes for you to vote on the decisions and the proposals that affect us, that you will truly represent us. We trust that when we come here to Sparks City Hall and we talk about the neighborhoods that we live in, the roads that we drive on, and the spaces that we send our children out to play in, we are trusting that you will care about them as much as we do, and that you will be willing to fight for them. And that when the time comes for you all to vote, you will represent us and invest in all the things that make Sparks the beautiful, family-oriented, and completely unique place that we all treasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Robert Davenport, followed by Susan Stieg. I don't know if I said that correct.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Robert Davenport. I'm a homeowner in Wingfield Springs and a member of the Wingfield Springs Preservation Group. I'm here today to respectfully urge you to reject the proposed amendment to the Wingfield Springs Development Standards Handbook that would close the Red Hawk Lakes course and replace it with over 600 new homes. Under NRS 2788.380, any modification to an approved PUD plan must meet 4 clear tests. It must further the mutual interests of residents and the public, preserve the integrity of the original plan, not impair the reasonable reliance that homeowners placed on that plan, and not adversely affect the public interest. This proposal fails every one of those tests. When we bought our homes, we relied on the master plan vision that was promised and recorded in the handbook and reaffirmed in the 2015 amendments. 2 golf courses, open space, wetlands, and wildlife habitat as permanent community amenities. The Lakes course is not an afterthought. Removing it breaks the promise we bought into, and it is textbook impairment of reasonable reliance. The impacts are real and immediate. Closing a course means losing critical open space and wildlife habitat in an area already under pressure. It adds hundreds of new cars to Vista Boulevard, as evidenced by the traffic reports submitted by the developer. Water, sewer, and emergency services are going to be strained. And for what? Because the developer claims that he can't make money operating the course. That's understandable as a business concern, but it's not a legal justification for overriding the master plan that the developer bought into when he purchased the property. Sparks needs homes, but we don't need them so badly that we ought to destroy the city in the process of building it. The people, the residents of Wingfield Springs and the foothills are asking you to uphold the state law in this matter and deny this handbook amendment and protect the integrity of our community for the families who already live here and for those who follow. Thank you for your time and your service to the city.
Thank you. Susan Stieg, I know I mispronounced that, followed by Rice Titus.
Good afternoon. Thank you for seeing me. My name is Susan Stieg, and I am a resident in Sparks at Eagle Peak. It is a gated community, and we purchased it as such. However, upon the closing, we found out that the city of Sparks directed us to take out some man gates because a private neighbor, from my understanding, requested to have access into our private community. Hence, we took down our man gates for public access, but yet we are still a private community. We have addressed the city in a letter on February 5th asking for action to be taken, and we have not heard anything back from the city. My request is somehow we get an answer so that we know what we can and what we cannot do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Rundle, can you speak with her? Thank you. All right, Bryce Titus, followed by Denny Jensen.
Good afternoon. I'm Bruce Titus. I live in Fairway Village in Ward 5. 2 years ago, I had a brand-new Ford F-150 totaled at the intersection of Sparks Boulevard and Sawgrass by a car going about 70 miles an hour, hit me broadside. Came to a Sparks City Council meeting then to explain the situation. I was told that a traffic study would be done. So came back about 6 months later. The traffic study had been done. It showed that we do need a light at that intersection. 2 people have been killed there so far, a motorcyclist and a pedestrian. That's why they put in the pedestrian crosswalk, but that doesn't help the cars. So the traffic study indicated we did need a light, but that was 1.5 years ago, and we do not have a light. I have neighbors that won't even try that intersection because it's so dangerous. It's like trying to, if you go there during rush hour, it's like trying to cross a highway. There's cars going 60, 70 miles an hour that you have to find a gap between. And a lot of them won't even try it. They go around, they find some other way. So we desperately need a light. And what I'm concerned about is that it's on the record multiple times as being a very dangerous intersection. So it's not an if, it's a when somebody gets killed there. Someone will be killed there. And then the city of Sparks is looking at a huge lawsuit if that happens, because it's on the record as being a dangerous intersection. So I just, need to find out why we haven't gotten a light 1.5 years after the traffic study says we need one. So that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Mr. Rundle, thank you. Denny Jensen, followed by Stephen Weinold.
Good afternoon. My name is Danny Jensen. I live at 7231 Silver King Drive, and I am part of the Wingfield Springs Preservation Group. I'm here to urge you to reject the proposal by Red Hawk Land Company to redevelop the Lakes Course. I'd like you to probe the question, does this company display the type of business ethics and business practices that you want to commit the city of Sparks? I'd like to share a few considerations for you. The Wingfield Springs Founders Agreement and the Private Club Agreement both include the Hills Course and the Lakes Course. The question is, what is Mr. Sino going to do to honor those contracts or offer viable alternatives? In the March 17th Planning Commission meeting, Mr. Sino responded to the question regarding the Founders Agreement saying, I know nothing about this. If the owners of these agreements don't like it, they can sue us. They can sue us. He either has bad memory or is not telling the truth. His company built and sold several properties in Wingfield Springs, which included the Founders Agreement. Mr. Sino responded to the question regarding lot premiums saying, I know nothing about lot premiums. I wasn't there. I didn't build houses. I didn't sell lots. Again, not true. His company was one of the original builders designated by Loeb Enterprises. Mr. Sino responded to the question regarding private club members saying, I don't know what I'm going to do with the Hills Course. Private club members, they can play on the hills, but there may also be public. I don't know. And if I have to, I'll close the Hills Course. He never addressed what he's going to do for the members and shows no concern for the contracts written with members. Red Hawk continues to sell private club memberships, which include the Lakes Course. How ethical is that? When you look at these scenarios, there clearly is no regard or commitment to existing contracts or care for individuals. In addition to the above points that focus on ethics, There are far greater issues that I ask you to investigate before making any decisions. Number one, I urge you to contact the City of Concord, California, and then inquire about a 12,000-plus home development that was going to go on the Naval Weapons Station. Concord rejected CNO's term sheet and pulled them from the project. Number two, lastly, I ask each of you to please go to a website entitled Save Mount Diablo. And then when you're under there, look,
It goes by fast, doesn't it?
yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Stephen Weinhold, followed by Ross Armstrong.
I decided not to bring my glasses, so the print is like super big.
Looks like my agenda.
Thank you for this time. My name is Steve Weinhold. I moved to Sparks in 1971 from Chicago with my parents. My family moved out here to get away from the congestion, the concrete, and just simply too many people. I moved to Sparks and I went to Sparks High School when Sparks had less than 40,000 people in it. It was very small. My wife, Elaine, and I live in Wingfield Springs since we purchased our home in March of 2000. We moved out this way when our children were young because of the openness, the nature with walking paths, and the beauty that the area afforded my family. We purchased a model home adjacent to the 10th tee box. Behind us was open land that would soon become the Tavo townhouses. We knew when we bought it that that's what would go in there. We believed that after that was completed, there would be no other construction. At least that's what we believed the master plan said. Soon after we moved in, we joined the Red Hawk Golf Club. We were among the first 100 members of the club. We never intended to join the club, but that changed when the community became so beautiful with not just one golf course, but two. After 15 years, due to health reasons, we had to resign our membership, but we stayed in Wingfield Springs for all the reasons that brought us there in the first place. This area is much more than just a golf course. It's nature personified. I grew up in Chicago. I should know. It's about community, neighbors, and wildlife. That wildlife passes over our head, appears on the golf course, and when we're lucky enough, visits us in our backyard. Our two children, Megan and Daniel, are now in their 30s. They purchased a house just 3 blocks away from us because they love it out here as well. Leanne's father, who is 93 years old, rides through the neighborhood on his adult tricycle. And if any of you live out there, I'm sure you've seen Bill on the streets. The community stops him simply to say hello, and it's really remarkable to witness. To conclude, we moved our family out to Wingfield Springs for the same reason my family moved to Sparks from Chicago. We do not want to live in a community where neighbors can see into your house or watch you when you sit on your back porch. Please do not allow this proposed construction to go through. Please remember, this is Sparks, Nevada, not Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you. Ross Armstrong, followed by Ryan Bellows.
Mayor, City Council, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Ross Armstrong. I'm a resident of Wingfield Springs, and I'm here to voice my concern about the development of the Red Hawk Lakes course. Specifically, I'm just going to go through some bullet points. The traffic issues that this is going to cause will make the community practically unlivable. My wife and I walk every day from 3 to 5 miles. And when we cross Vista, we're taking our lives into our own hands. We've almost been hit numerous times. Putting 1,400 more cars out there is crazy. Impact to the air quality goes without saying. Degradation of protected wetlands. If I'm not mistaken, the approved master plan holds those ponds as being protected wetlands. If the developer's going to fill them in and put homes there, that runs ripshod over the agreement that's in place. I don't know how we can approve that. The effect on the wildlife is, you don't even have to go into detail about that. Infrastructure issues, this is huge. The water and the sewer. When I listened to the recording of the planning meeting that Sino had with the city, specifically his team is asking to approve the development without having a firm plan to deal with the necessary sewer and water issues that this development's going to impose onto the community. I would ask that you guys insist that the developer come up with a firm plan for how they're going to deal with the water and the sewer before you even consider approving the project. Approving it by May of this year is, it's inappropriate for you to consider that. The water supply into the HOA is obviously going to be impacted if he's not going to be able to provide some new source of water to the HOA. I don't know how he's going to provide water for those additional 700 homes. The design of those homes is high density. If you look at the current community, they're custom homes, and they're not zero-sum lots. They're certainly not townhomes, and they're not homes with flat roofs that are 3 feet away from the other neighbors. So for these reasons, I would ask that you not even consider approving this by May of this year. Push it out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Ryan, I didn't see you wanted to speak on 10-1 and 10-2. Gary Sanchez.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and City Council. Thank you for seeing us. I'm here as the president of the HOA that Susan spoke about earlier, Eagle Peak, and a little bit of background as to what she was talking about. We do have a fence around our community, and it was there when I moved in. We're a small HOA, by the way, 40 houses there. We're not very large. And we were told at some point after I moved in that the man gates that cross what is actually a fire lane were to be removed by order of the city, and never really got a reasonable explanation. It was said that the city was asking to be using the HOA's handicap accessible sidewalk for the public to come through, which doesn't make a lot of sense because that's on private property. So people are being asked to come onto private property, cross the fire lane, go back out again, back onto the city sidewalk. So what we would like, and I know that we can't discuss this under this section of the agenda, but if we could just initiate a conversation with the city is all we're really asking, to get some clarity as to what it is that is really going on and try and find a solution to what we can perceive as a problem.
Will you raise your hand, Jim? That's the gentleman I want to have you talk to. I didn't want to raise it too long because he didn't want anyone to see.
The letter that we.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right,
That's all I
appreciate
had
it.
to address.
All right, anyone else wishing to speak? Public comment? Okay, we'll close public comment, move on. I'm looking for an approval of the agenda. And I don't have everybody.
Getting you.
You're gonna get me okay. Okay, thanks. All right, approval of the agenda. We have a motion by Mr. Rodriguez, a second by Ms. Vanderwell. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. It's amazing that you can do this without technology. Approval of the minutes. Any additions, subtractions for the minutes? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Abbott,
I move to approve the minutes of the Sparks City Council meeting from March 23rd, 2026.
and Ms. Spivey.
I'll second that motion.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. 7.1, presentation, introduction to the Tom Weller, PhD, Dean of the University of Nevada, Reno College of Engineering. Come on now. And just give us your name for the record.
Yes, sir.
Mayor Lawson, members of the City Council,
We move that
For the
microphone towards you a little bit. Thank you, sir.
for the record, my name is Krishna Pagila. I'm a professor at the University of Nevada, Reno, and also director of the Nevada Water Innovation Institute, which City of Sparks is a founder of the institute, and many of you have been in the activities, and we appreciate your. Today, I'm honored and pleased to present our newest leader of the College of Engineering, Dean Tom Weller. Dean Weller joined us last fall. He's an electrical engineer by training and has been at several institutions in a leadership role. And we are very excited to have him. He's leading the college with new initiatives that he's going to discuss with you. And I thought, and Manager Lothan mentioned that it would be good to have Dean Weller be introduced to the council and vice versa, since he's taking up a lot of initiatives that have impact on the region and its economic growth. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dean Weller, who will make his remarks, and happy to take your questions.
Thank you.
Mayor Lawson and the City Council, it's a great pleasure to be here, as Krishna said, to present just a brief overview of the College of Engineering. And I also want to thank you up front for the great support of the Water Innovation Institute. It's a great model of partnership between local government and higher education. And a lot of our strategic plan that we are developing right now is based on that same kind of commitment to being an excellent partner. And that's the point that I'd like to emphasize with you here today. So we do, as the slide says, we take our land grant mission seriously. And as a land grant institution, that means, of course, not only educating workforce, but also translating the great research that our faculty and staff members are doing to the economic benefit of the local region. And so, as I think you'll see in a few of the slides that I'll show in just a moment, all of our strategic plan is really based on that central theme of being the best partner we can be and leveraging partnerships to become a very strong economic engine for the region. Just a few data points to describe the College of Engineering in one slide, if I can, in case you're not familiar. We do have approximately 2,500 undergraduate students and 500 graduate students, and roughly 90 faculty members. And those students and those faculty members are organized into 5 departments, offering 12 degree programs. And most of those degree programs offer bachelor's, master's, and PhD students. Some of the metrics that we use to measure our productivity are shown on the right-hand side of the slide. Our typical research expenditures each year are approximately $25 million. We produce nearly 500 graduates each year, and our seniors are involved in approximately 500 capstone projects, many of which are completed in partnership with community-based organizations, companies, and other groups in the surrounding region. We are also extremely proud of our outreach and engagement programs. Most of these are self-funded, either through gifts or through program funds. And we connect with over 5,000 K through 12 students every year to get them excited and to help them understand opportunities for careers in the STEM fields. So our strategic plan is summarized here. These are the four main pillars on which we are building all of our goals. And the point I'd like to emphasize with you is that all of these are focused on having an impact in the community and again, living up to our land grant mission. Student success and career preparation, this is part and parcel to every higher education institution, but we are also very focused on not only educating our students, but training them and preparing them to be very successful in their careers, and hopefully many of them supporting local industry. Strength of community refers not just to our internal community in the college, but also many programs that we have, like those outreach programs that I mentioned, to engage with the broader community as a whole. Innovative research, as you may know, we are a Research 1 institution, which is the highest classification for research universities. But it's very important that we stick that word innovative in front of our research, because that's what brings value to the creative ideas that we have. So we are very focused on translating the research that we do to commercial use. And finally, economic impact. This is really what encapsulates many of our initiatives to engage with local industry, local government, as we're doing with the Water Innovation Institute to really help drive the economy of the region forward. And finally, one of the main drivers for this is that we are very growth focused. And there's a lot of numbers on the right-hand side of that slide, but essentially the data that you're seeing there describe approximately 180 colleges of engineering in the United States that perform even a modest amount of research. And what you're seeing along the bottom of that scale is the size of the colleges of engineering in terms of faculty members. The red dot is University of Nevada, Reno. As you can see, we are one of the smaller colleges of engineering, and we feel very strongly that we need to increase the size of our college to have a more significant impact on the regional economy. And go Pack.
Requisite slide. Questions from the council? Anybody?
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you, Mayor. If we could go back to the slide where their graduation rate, like, is there kind of like a ballpark number, like how many of those students stay here in Northern Nevada or Nevada in general?
So the percentage of graduates that stay in Nevada or Northern Nevada, that varies significantly based on the discipline at the moment. So for example, in civil and environmental engineering, a large number of those students stay in Northern Nevada. Many of them start businesses and work with consulting firms and so on. As you may know, aerospace is a growing industry in the state, and advanced manufacturing is also a booming industry in the state. So our mechanical engineers, our industrial engineers and so forth, many of them also stay in the state. There are gaps in the technology ecosystem, for example, in computer science, where many of our students go to California or to Southern Nevada. And part of our emphasis on really strengthening the regional tech ecosystem is so specifically so that more of our students can find good jobs in the region.
That's good to hear. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Anderson.
Don't have a question for you. Just want to say thank you for what you're doing in the community and the connections that you bring about from the work that you're doing up there. I've only seen just a glimpse of it working with Dr. Paglia, but the stuff that's being done, a lot of us in the community don't realize the significance of it, but just what his team is doing, working with water and that you're talking about innovation. It's incredible because we're very well positioned for water in this community, but for us to look into the future of how to protect that resource, they're doing an incredible job helping us figure out where we want to go in the future and how we're going to get there. And just want to commend the team. So great job.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
All right, presentation from Street Reach.
Thank you, Mayor and council members, for having us here today. I'm Jane Fox. I'm the director of the Larson Institute at University's School of Public Health. Actually, it was interesting to see the engineering school's mission because that's the same mission of the Larson Institute. We take best practices from academic research and we translate it for use by community agencies. I will let Molly, my colleague, introduce herself.
Hi, thanks so much for having us. My name is Dr. Molly Koking, and I am the Associate Dean for Strategic Partnerships and Practice at the Orvis School of Nursing. So my responsibility is to create and sustain partnerships that are going to advance our tripartite mission, which include, of course, education, being an education serving institution, clinical practice, education, service engagement, and then research and scholarship. So I provide the institutional support and the nursing lens for this project. Thanks for having us.
So we're here today to talk to you about Street Reach. This is a new initiative that we have recently launched from UNR. And it is a collaborative effort between our School of Public Health, the Larson Institute, as I mentioned, Orvis School of Nursing, our School of Medicine, and community partners to provide street healthcare to people where they are on the streets. So just a quick kind of picture, community need, looking at the 2023 data from Washoe County. In 2023, there were over 1,700 people who were experiencing homelessness. Of those, 39% experienced unsheltered homelessness, meaning they lived on the streets, on sidewalks, or other living spaces that were not designed for living. Clinical care options are limited to our existing clinics, mainly our FQHCs, both Community Health Alliance and Northern Nevada Hopes, and unfortunately, Renown and St. Mary's emergency departments. And truly consistent coordinated care has not been provided on the street. If we look at medical and behavioral needs based on national data, we see that there's an extremely high need for wound care. There are high rates of hepatitis C, hepatitis B, and C. For hepatitis C, it's estimated anywhere between 19 to 36% higher than the general population. And for HIV, it's about 3 to 10, although we're seeing probably around, with our neighboring states, around an 8% positivity rate that's higher than the general population. There's a high prevalence of hypertension, chronic lung disease, and diabetes of people that are living on the street. We also, as I mentioned, we have a very high rates of ED usage. And 20 to 30% of folks living on the street have been diagnosed with a severe mental illness. Of those, over half of unhoused individuals have experienced traumatic brain injuries. And of course, as we all know, drug overdose is the leading cause of death. So for us, this really was this huge call to action to deliver compassionate, low barrier street care that included wound care, bloodborne virus testing, and linkage to community care to reduce health harms and advance dignity, equity, and access. So we've really built this for continuity. And so this has been designed really between the School of Public Health and Orvis, and we're bringing in the School of Medicine as not a time-limited project. This is a UNR commitment to provide consistent services that include the nurse-led wound care and street-based clinical engagement. It is a braided model, so we have a stable clinical presence, and we have rotating partner services based on the community need and services and resources. Right now, partners include, actually, we've been really blessed with an amazing amount of partners. Partners with both Renown and St. Mary's, both of the FQHCs, Washoe County, Northern Nevada Public Health, and then a wide array of substance use treatment services and other social service agencies. And our external funding really expands services, but it doesn't define the platform. So right now, the only funding source that we have is from Gilead Sciences, and it's under this, it's called a FOCUS grant. And all they support is our bloodborne virus testing and the first linkage to care. All of our nursing services has been graciously donated from Orvis School of Nursing. As Molly said, it integrates this faculty practice and supervised learner experiences that will strengthen our regional workforce. And again, it's really structured for continuity. We're adaptable, we're flexible, and we're really committed to this long-term community partnership. So right now, what does Street Reach look like? We have a very ragtag but amazing team of 2 Orvis faculty practice nurses, and they provide our wound care out on the street. We have a project coordinator. We have a phlebotomist who, as our dean of nursing says, goes where no other phlebotomist would ever go. And we have a community health worker. Right now, we are 2 afternoons out on the street surrounding the CARES campus. And 1 afternoon, we have an office at the Village on Sage where people know where to find us. And our key community partners, as I previously mentioned. So right now, we have this small project team. We have a small area that we are working in, and we have limited offerings. Before we started this initiative, we brought in 3 subject matter experts from across the United States. One is, her name is Corinne Feldman, and her husband work out of USC, and they have helped start over 150 street medicine programs across the US. We have a physician from San Francisco who follows about 40 to 50 pregnant women who live on the street in San Francisco. And then we have a wound care expert from University of Chicago. All of them said, start small. Start small in your area and start small with your offerings and master that area before you go big. We are, as I said, we've brought in the School of Medicine, so we are integrating them into our team as well. And we're offering hygiene kits, Narcan, drug test strips, and wound care kits for people out on the street. Our hope is the next 6 months, so probably starting in September, we're going to pilot having some public health students with us, as well as some nursing students. We want to expand our offerings and our team and probably our geography and continue to provide those items that we're already providing. And then in the third 6 months, which would be starting next April, again, more offerings, more team, larger space. We're exploring some rural expansion partnerships and then offering a street health workforce training to both community health workers as a micro-credentialing so that those that have a community health worker certification could also get a specialization in street health work. What to say about this? This was our ideal. We literally are starting week 3 today, and things have already exploded in the best way possible. And so I think we're gonna see like the second 6 months move up to like, I don't know, next month, the month after, because we've just gotten such amazing support through the university to do more. And the community is so incredibly excited and supportive of this work. In all of these phases, we have rapid cycle evaluation. So every Monday morning, we sit down, what worked well last week, what didn't work well. Okay, if it didn't work well, are we not, like, let's not do that again, or let's figure out how we can make it work, because we're really committed to not doing things that make no sense or don't help the people that we're out there to help. So early learnings, and this is the best slide. So this is our amazing phlebotomist who is out there on the street. We did our soft launch in March. we basically went out into the community and made friends. And so the first 2 weeks, we had conversations with over 200 individuals. We saw the need for wound care, and there was great interest in bloodborne virus testing. We had this great success story early on where our team met this gentleman. His name was Matt. He was in his probably late 20s, and he had been homeless and on the streets since he arrived in Reno 5 years ago and did not know the services that were available. We hooked him up, our amazing project coordinator, who seems to know everybody in this world, hooked him up with the Mill Street Care Center, where he showed up, he took a shower, he had lunch, and he engaged with a therapist, and he is now getting services consistently at Mill Street. As I said, April 1, we're on week 3 today, was our full launch. In that first week, we did 7 bloodborne virus testings, and we offered 4 wound care encounters. We met as a team this morning. Last week, we interacted with over 100 people. We had 22 people in the chair, which meant they actually came and sat down with us, with 7 blood draws, 5 wound care encounters, and we did 2 nursing assessments. But it's really the other care that we're starting to see that is most important. And so we had 2 clients that we have linked to intensive outpatient services. They are actually going into treatment. They are 7 days clean from meth, and really motivated to actually get into treatment. And so we are making that happen for them as of today. We had one woman who, and I will talk a little bit about her. She showed up and she had an active UTI and desperately needed to be seen by a provider. So I reached out to Renown Women's Care. I talked to them on Thursday. They said, yeah, we'll see her on Friday. We got her in on Friday. Ends up that she also wanted to have an IUD. This woman has 9 children and has had 13 pregnancies. But because of the scar tissue and all of the damage to her reproductive system, they couldn't place the IUD. And so they've now referred her to a specialist, of which we will get her in to see the specialist. But we got her there, we got her back, we got her prescriptions. We are following up with her regularly, and she too is entering treatment today. So it is actually all these things that we are doing that is outside of our scope that we would never turn anyone away. Like, absolutely, we're going to be doing these things as well. So it's been fantastic, I think, for all of us. So I will now open it up to questions, thoughts. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Let me just start with one. Are you considering working with like our HOPE team, our homeless outreach proactive
I am. In fact, they have reached out for an MOU, and so we are going to
Great minds
actively do
thinking
that.
alike.
Yes.
No, our folks are obviously out there every week. They're making the contact, and this folds in perfectly with what we're doing from the city of Sparks.
Yeah, 100%.
Ms. Spivey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I love this, and you kind of half answered what I was going to ask, but as I'm thinking of, you're doing those initial core assessments of wound care and going out into the street, does it each, and it sounds like it already is, some of those people you're able to pull in to your other partners, and of course, Northern Nevada Hopes with their clinic is right there. They've got the tiny homes, they've got CARES Campus with all of the resources that you can hopefully pull them into the wraparound services, which what I've learned in these several years that we've become involved with the homeless in our community and our work with the city of Sparks regionally is how important the wraparound services are, because, and the trust, and to the mayor's point, you know, our HOPE team has found it's building trust. And it's slow, but it's one by one by one. And we had one gentleman that it was the 33rd time our HOPE team found him on the street in Victorian Square. And he finally looked at him and said, I can't do this anymore. And we were able, but it took that much time and the trust building. And I think we really have seen, I've seen in the last, 6, 8, 9 years, that all of the providers, instead of being in silos like they used to be, that the CARES campus and COVID and our HOPE team have kind of brought people into working together so that everybody providing those services knows somebody else can send someone there. So do you see yours maybe as being maybe a very first step that can move people in that direction with all those a ton of partners?
Absolutely. I also sit on the board of Northern Nevada Hopes. And so I'm like, come on, guys. So we actually have a signed MOU with them, and they've been so gracious. For people that test positive with HIV, they will get them into services within 1 business day. For those with hepatitis B and C, they will get them in within 5 business days. What I failed to mention is we've had we're on week 3. We've had 2 hepatitis C positive tests already. One is a historical infection, which means we do nothing with them. The other is an active infection, and we have 2 more where their test has come up positive, but it is pending the confirmatory. So in 4 days of service on the street, we have already identified potentially 4 people with hepatitis C or who have had a hepatitis C infection. And before we started this, we actually started facilitating a conversation with all of the partners that do work out on the street. So either you're out on the street or you serve this population, and we've been meeting monthly, and it's been so amazing. There's at least, the last meeting had about 45 people there. Everyone from the HOPE team, although Sparks has not been there, but they will now, to Nevada Urban Indians, to Jackie Rosen's office, and everyone in between. So it's been fantastic to have this group of people who are 100% behind us, and we're working back and forth.
Good. Ms. Vanderwell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank both you and Molly so much. And I was fortunate to be able to go up to UNR and see the presentation of this. So I was so excited to be able to share this with the city. And I do want to personally thank Austin Daly with UNR, who had shared that this program was coming forward. And I stayed on top of him to say, please make sure that we know about this. I think this is a great program to partner up with the programs that are already there to lift people into the next stages of their life. So thank you so very much for all your work.
Thank you.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, same thing. Thank you for the work you guys are doing. It's so cool to see the direction you're going and how quickly you're getting there. I did have a question. You were talking about all the community members and having 40-some in the last meeting. I didn't hear you mention like faith-based organizations that also focus. I mean, like Summit has their street team, Grace Community Church and such. Are you involved with them as well?
Not yet. No, not yet. We have been working with RISE, which has been doing the warming centers with all of the faith-based communities downtown. And so we have a general connection to them, but not directly yet. But that's it's on our list of things to do.
On week 4.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you, and look forward to some new fun things that will be coming actually relatively soon.
Oh,
2 weeks.
Yeah,
come back
2
and
weeks.
See us.
Yeah, great, thank you.
So much.
All right, proclamation, Fair Housing Month. Ms. Vanderwell.
Do you have anybody here for this?
Yes, anybody, come on down.
Come on down.
We'll read the proclamation and then we'll have you say a few words.
So long as we can't see. So, okay. Whereas April 2026 marks the 58th anniversary of Title 13 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, known as the Civil Rights Fair Housing Act. And whereas the Civil Rights Fair Housing Act provides an equal housing opportunity for all Americans regardless of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, and ensures fair practices in the sale, rental, and financing of real property. And whereas the Fair Housing Amendment Act of 1988 strengthened enforcement procedures and expanded protections by adding new rights, remedies, and penalties for violations of the Civil Rights Fair Housing Act. And whereas the Fair Housing Amendments Act seeks to promote equal housing opportunities, expand housing choice, eliminate barriers to fair housing, and affirm equal housing as a fundamental human right for all. And whereas individuals in the city of Sparks have the right to choose where to live without discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, disability, familial status, national origin, age, or gender identity. And whereas the city of Sparks fully supports the intent and purpose of the Civil Rights Fair Housing Act and the Fair Housing Amendments Act and the state and local fair housing laws, and continues to advance policies and practices that uphold these principles. Now, therefore, I, Ed Lawson, Mayor of the City of Sparks, Nevada, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Fair Housing Month.
Give us your name for the record.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, I'm Kate Zook, Executive Director of Silver State Fair Housing Council. I'm here today to say, again, thank you for your support, for finding this a meaningful activity in our community and making Sparks really one of the headliners. Don't tell the others, but I mean, we have been working with City of Sparks for over 35 years in promoting equal housing opportunity. And over those years, we have worked with groups. I'm all excited now about this new program because here's another one where we start layering on the services that people need. And right now, we have so many opportunities to assist people with a housing crisis, trying to get people in, working with people who are protected by fair housing laws. And by the way, that's all of us in many, many different ways. We've had such a productive relationship over the years, and we're hoping and looking forward to many more because we are really leaning on our local jurisdictions and our local partners to make sure that fair housing and equal housing opportunity remain a reality. So on behalf of our Board of Trustees and on behalf of our staff, I want to thank you for the good work that you are all doing. I want to thank you for our partnership and for your staff over here, Amy and Casey, who keep us going in the right direction all the time and assist us and promote us whenever they can. We're celebrating 58 years of fair housing. We have a lot more work to do. And thank you again for your support.
Thank you. Now we're going to have you take a picture that we put on our YouTube channel for the millions of viewers that watch
And
us.
Mr. Mayor, if I can have Amy and Casey join also, please.
The ones who make it happen.
That's right.
Amy Jones. Thank you. All right, Mr. Anderson, Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Do we have someone here for that? Same drill. We'll read the proclamation, give us your name and tell us a few words. Thank you.
All right. Whereas residents of City of Sparks called 911 or the non-emergency dispatch for help in emergencies and for other assistance over 163,000 times in 2025. And whereas emergency communications dispatchers are the first contact for person in crisis and are knowledgeable, highly trained employees who work closely with police, fire, and emergency medical personnel to gather vital information and dispatch public safety assistance, often making the difference between life and death. And whereas City of Sparks residents enjoy a high standard of public safety because of the emergency communications personnel who apply their expertise in dispatching help to ensure public safety. And whereas our emergency communications dispatchers are among more than 500,000 telecommunications specialists who work daily to protect the public and promote public safety across our nation. Now, therefore, Ed Lawson, Mayor, City of Sparks, do hereby proclaim April 12th through 18th, 2026, Public Safety Telecommunications Week and join in the City Council in acknowledging and expressing sincere appreciation for our public safety emergency communications dispatchers. Stephanie Buck, Jada Cook, Maureen Diet, Jamie Farley, Cheyenne Glenn, Paige Little, Lydia McCoy, Micah McGinn, Andrew Mendenhall, Alicia Menro, Mervo, okay, got it. Becca Ormsby, Mike Smith, Heather Thompson, Denise Wagner, and Sabrina Wetstein. Wetstein, okay. Messed it up both times. Thank you.
Give us your name for the record.
Mine was one of the easy ones. I'm Becca Ormsby. My manager had asked if I would come represent our department here. Unfortunately, we are understaffed, as are every 911 center in the country. But I was really grateful she asked me to. We get the privilege of working underneath Chief Crawforth for the police department and working alongside Chief White in his department with the fire department. And I have served the city of Sparks for almost 8 of my 16 years in this field. And so I have the unique perspective of having worked for other cities and counties. And I can say with all honesty that we have one of the most skilled departments that I've ever worked for, with the most hardworking people who work the hardest for their city. And being an employee of the city of Sparks and getting to serve our community is a privilege that it's really an honor to get to be here. And so thank you very much for acknowledging this.
Thank you and the whole team for what you do. We appreciate it. Same drill, we're going to take your picture, put it on the YouTube channel for our millions of viewers. All right, let's go on to consent items. Anyone wishing to pull a consent item? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Ms. Vanderwell.
Move to approve consent items 8.1 through 8.6 is submitted.
Mr. Rodriguez. Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. On to general business, 9.1. Consideration, discussion, and possible confirmation of the mayor's appointment to the planning commissioners to serve as first, second, third, and fourth alternates to the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Commission, effective immediately from the following pool of applicants listed in alphabetical order: Evan Prizos, Mike Rawson, Ricky Rodriguez Elkins, and Steven Sperber.
Mayor, just here for any questions. Jim Rundle, Community Services Director.
Okay. Who did we choose? Was Steven, right?
Yeah, Mayor, this is the recommendation by the Planning Commission for the alternates.
Yeah, Steven. Okay, Steven Sperber was,
Mayor, this is the recommendation of the alternates in the order that they're listed. This isn't a recommendation for someone for regional planning. It's just the alternates.
I thought that Steven was first up on that list.
But it's all for all of them is what I'm saying. It's for 4 or 5, yes.
Oh, okay. It says it in the motion. It doesn't say it on the. Duh. I got to read all of it, I guess, huh? Okay, any questions from the council? Ms. Vanderwell. Your motion.
I move to confirm the mayor's appointment of Steven Sperber as first alternate, Ricky Rodriguez Elkins as second alternate, Mike Rawson as third alternate, and Evan Prizos as fourth alternate to serve on the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Commission effective immediately.
Mr. Rodriguez.
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any other conversation? Not seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. 9.2, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of an agreement AC 6185 with High Desert Grazers for hazard mitigation at the Truckee Meadows Water Reclamation Facility in the amount of $125,750, with the city of Sparks share being approximately $47,546.08. Casey, talk about some goats.
All right, well, good afternoon.
The
Mayor
goat himself.
Thank you for that, Mayor Lassen. For the record, Casey Benser, Treatment Plant Director at the Truckee Meadows Water Reclamation Facility. And for this particular item, we've talked about goats a lot, and our Assistant Plant Manager, Amy Egan, has been able to champion this, so I'll pass it over to her.
Let's see the back of your shirt.
Yes.
There we go.
Is herbivores, not herbicides. We're very excited about this particular project, trying to find better ways of doing things in more environmentally sustainable ways.
Very nice. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council. Mayor, my name is Amy Egan. For the record, I'm the Assistant Plant Manager at Tumwharf. I'm here today seeking approval for an agreement with High Desert Graziers to use goats for hazard mitigation at Tumwharf. Tumwharf has a 75-acre parcel of land on the west side of Steamboat Creek that is overgrown with noxious weeds, including whitetop. This presents a fire hazard, potentially resulting in damage to infrastructure, evacuation of Tumwharf, disruption of power service at Tumwharf, and environmental impacts to the Truckee River and Steamboat Creek. We did have a fire in this area in 2024, but thankfully it was quickly contained. Targeted goat grazing is a well-established and environmentally sustainable method for reducing fire fuels. Goats consume a wide range of vegetation, and continued grazing will reduce plant density and seed production over time with minimal ecological disturbance. We've been collaborating with Sparks, Parks and Rec Department, and the Community Services Department on working with High Desert Graziers. Sparks PD will also be helping by utilizing their drone to take footage of the area to track the progress of the goats. High Desert Graziers has completed similar hazard mitigation projects for a number of public agencies, including the Nevada State Division of Forestry, Washoe County Parks and Recreation, the City of Reno, and the Nevada Department of Wildlife and the National Guard. A grazing project of this size is expected to take about 150 days. Tumwharf applied for and was selected as a subawardee in a 2025 process for a hazard mitigation grant to cover 3 seasons of grazing through the Nevada Department of Emergency Management. The funding was to come from FEMA, and the distribution of these funds remains uncertain. Given the need for this mitigation, Tumwharf is planning on paying for the first year with the hope that we will receive disbursement of these grant funds to fully mitigate this parcel. This project will bridge the fiscal years 2026 and 2027. While not budgeted for in this fiscal year, there is sufficient budget authority for professional services to cover it. Money has been allocated in fiscal year 2027. Due to the length of time needed for mitigation, the anticipated start date is approximately May 1st of 2026. Staff recommends a motion for approval of this contract. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the council? Go ahead, Paul.
First, I want to say I love your little goat. That it's so cute.
You can thank Nancy for that.
Well done, Nancy, and thank you for not bringing in a real one. So just out of curiosity, so for 75 acres, how many goats are going to be out there working, do you know?
I am not sure how many goats he's going to bring. I think he's going to cycle them in and out. I do know he's going to bring some of the herd at the beginning of May, and then apparently we're supposed to get mother and baby goats by the end of May. So I think it's probably going to vary. I know it's going to be cute. It's going to vary throughout the year, throughout the season.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? I'm flying a drone too. Come on, chief. I love it. Practice. Okay, well, with that, then I am looking for a motion. Mr. Anderson.
I move to approve an agreement AC 6185 with High Desert Grazers for hazard mitigation at the Trekking Meadows Water Reclamation Facility in the amount of $125,750, with the City of Sparks share being approximately $47,546.08.
Mr. Rabbit.
I will second it.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Can't wait to see them goats at work. We get to see our goat at work, Mr. Casey. 9.3, consideration, discussion, and possible approval to purchase X-Series monitors, defibrillators, AEDs, automated external defibrillators, and associated hardware from Zoll Medical in the amount of $199,984.95, utilizing the NPP, the National Purchasing Partners Pricing Contract, PS 25850, and Lake Tahoe Regional Fire Chiefs Association Contract, LOC 019188815. There's a mouthful. Chief, thank you.
Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Nick Leach. I serve as the Division Chief with the Sparks Fire Department. So a brief on this item is this agenda item requests City Council approval to purchase X-Series monitors and defibrillators for our frontline vehicles and also AEDs, which is an acronym for an automated external defibrillator. The equipment requested will replace existing AEDs throughout our city that are beyond their service life, and it will replace existing X-Series monitors that are also approaching their end of service life or are no longer able to be serviced. These items have been budgeted for, and we've been working with the city finance team to complete this process. So a little background is all of the City of Sparks fire engines are ALS or advanced life support capable. The cardiac monitor is the central hub in providing seamless advanced cardiac care from the initial call throughout the transport and delivery of a patient to the hospital. We are at that point of basically recycling some of our outdated equipment and replacing it with some of the newer X-Series apparatus. This will allow us, this purchase will also allow us to have a small amount of backup units that are necessary when we have to put a unit out of service to go back to the vendor. Additionally, our existing AEDs, which are the smaller automated defibrillators, these are designed for BLS providers or for the public. These have also surpassed their end of life and they need to be replaced. The fire department has these AEDs in service throughout our city, and we have them in our chief command vehicles, support vehicles. They're at every fire station, and we're planning on implementing them in other additional vehicles as well. Having these AEDs roving throughout the city increases the odds of having a defibrillator in close proximity to an emergency when one exists, yielding the highest outcome for the victim or the patient. Zoll Medical has provided the pricing, as the mayor indicated, that's established through the Lake Tahoe Regional Fire Chiefs Association. This contract ensures that we're receiving the most competitive pricing platform when it goes out. And staff recommends the approval of this agreement, and I'd be pleased to answer any questions if you have them.
Questions from the council? Ms. Bybee.
Just out of curiosity, do we have the AEDs in our police vehicles?
Yes, but not with this.
Okay, just curious, because yeah, I mean, you put them in airports, you put them in stores.
Yeah.
And then anyone who might know how to use it, yeah, makes life and death differences. Okay, perfect, thank you.
So that was Assistant Chief Tara yelling from the audience.
For the record, please have her come sit next to me. She's going to answer questions on my behalf.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. All right, I'm looking for a motion then. Ms. Vanderwell.
I move to approve the purchase of X-Series monitors, defibrillators, automated external defibrillators, and associated hardware from Zoll Medical in the amount of $199,984.95, utilizing the National Purchasing Partners Pricing Contract, PS 25850, and Lake Tahoe Regional Fires Chiefs Association Pricing Contract, LOC 01918815.
Mr. Rodriguez. Second. Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. 9.4, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of an interlocal agreement AC 6187 between the City of Sparks and the State of Nevada through the Nevada Health Authority, Nevada Medicaid Management for Emergency Transportation Ground Ambulance Certified Public Expenditure Reimbursement to the City of Sparks for approximately $2,682,425 and no cents. Chief.
All right. Thank you again, Mayor Lawson and council. For the record, my name is Nick Leach from the Sparks Fire Department. This agenda item is a request to create an interlocal agreement with the state of Nevada through the Nevada Health Authority and Nevada Medicaid. This interlocal agreement is required for the proper reporting, costing, and compliance with the Medicaid program requirements. Reimbursement through this program will yield an estimate to the City of Sparks of $2,682,425 over the contract term. So a little history of this is the City of Sparks Fire Department began ambulance transport in District 5 under a service agreement with Remsa Health beginning July 1st, 2024. Under this agreement, the City of Sparks Ambulance is responsible for response and transport of all medical calls in our designated service response area, as well as any accepted requests for mutual aid through Remsa. The City of Sparks, as a public entity, is entitled to reimbursement for ground emergency medical transport, or GEMT as it's referred to, funding through Medicaid. GEMT funding assists public emergency medical services, or EMS agencies, to recover the true cost of transporting Medicaid beneficiaries. Cost recovery through the GEMT Medicaid program assists with covering the gap between the actual cost of delivering the transport services and the Medicaid payments. This interlocal agreement establishes the relationship with the state of Nevada to meet transparency and reporting requirements to ensure that we are properly aligned to receive this reimbursement through the state of Nevada via the Nevada Authority and the Medicaid program. Our staff recommends approval of this agreement, and I can answer any questions if you have them.
All right, questions from the council? This $2 million is for the entire time?
For the 4-year period that we have this contract, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, no questions. I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Abbott.
I move to approve the interlocal agreement AC-6187 between the City of Sparks and the State of Nevada through the Nevada Health Authority, Nevada Medicaid for the management of emergency transportation, ground ambulance certified public expenditure reimbursement to the City of Sparks of approximately $2,682,425.
Mr. Rodriguez. Second. Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Nick. 9.5, consideration, discussion, and possible action on a request for a tentative map for villages 3 and 7 for the Five Ridges Development what's that word? Constituting, I don't know why it didn't register in my head. A 211 lot, single-family residential subdivision on a 53.75 acre site generally located east of Five Ridges Parkway and north of Valhalla Ridge Road, Sparks, Nevada. APNs 536-121-28, 536-121-30, 536-121-31, and 536-121-32 in the single-family residential zoning district PCN 19-0040/STM 25/0004. Did I get it all right?
Yes, you do. Always have a really long.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor Lawson, members of the City Council. My name is Dani Ray. I'm Senior Planner. And this request is for a 211 lot, single-family residential subdivision in the Five Ridges development for villages 3 and 7. The tentative map STM 19-0005 was previously approved by the City Council in May of 2020 and included villages 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7 of the Five Ridges development. Villages 2, 4, and 6 have been final mapped and are not a part of this request. In terms of timelines prescribed in the Nevada revised statutes, if the subdivider presents a successive map and a series of final maps, each cover portion of the approved tentative map. The map must be presented to the City Council within 2 years from the date of recordation of the last final map. In this case, the application for the final map for Villages 3 or 7 would need to have been presented by August 30th of 2025 to preserve the required timelines for submittal of a final map that is successive in a series. A request for an extension was not received by the city before the expiration. Therefore, the tentative map is now expired. So the 5 Ridges 3 and 7 project areas totaling 53.75 acres are shown here, outlined in red, just north and east of 5 Ridges Parkway and the Highland Ranch Parkway. For some quick background, a development agreement was originally approved in 2018 and amended in 2020 for the now approximately 421 acre property known as 5 Ridges. In conjunction with the agreement, the City Council approved requests for annexation, a comprehensive plan land use amendment, and rezoning. There have been several tentative maps and final maps and approved 5 Ridges thus far. A complete listing of actions related to 5 Ridges development is included in the staff report in the background section. So this tentative map request proposes single-family subdivision, 53.75 acres, comprised of 211 single-family residential lots that range from 5,025 square feet to 11,287 square feet, and yield a gross density of 4.2 dwelling units per acre, which is less than the minimum required density of 6 dwelling units per acre per the IDR, or intermediate density residential requirements for the comprehensive plan. However, the density is in conformance with SF6 zoning, which allows up to 7.3 dwelling units per acre with no minimum, and does take precedence when the zoning code is inconsistent with the comprehensive plan per NRS. 10.67 acres of the site are identified as common area for open space, community amenities, and private streets, as well as disturbed slope areas and detention basin that will be maintained by the 5 Ridges Landscape Maintenance Association. This image here illustrates the phasing plan for 5 Ridges with a color-coded table, shows the unit count for each village. There's a total of 13 phases. The total number of projected units for 5 Ridges is 1,239, which is above the 1,200 unit minimum as required in the development agreement. 39 lots are proposed for Village 3 that have an average lot size of 7,554 square feet. 172 lots are proposed for Village 7 that have an average lot size of 6,251 square feet. A private neighborhood park totaling approximately 1 acre is located here and to be constructed in Village 3, with Village 3, excuse me. Access to the villages is proposed from Antelope Ridge Parkway and Aiden Ridge Way via 5 Ridges Parkway, and secondary access to Village 3 is provided from the southernmost Split Ridge Court cul-de-sac to Aiden Ridge Way. Emergency access to the 5 Ridges development is provided via an existing 20-foot wide access road from Warhol Drive located in unincorporated Washoe County to the current western terminus of Antelope Ridge Parkway. So Village 3 is proposed to be developed using SF6 zoning district standards. Village 7, which is shown on this slide, is also proposed to be developed using SF6 standards, except for 128 lots generally located on the interior, which you see shaded in gray. They're proposed to be developed using the small lot standards that are available to them in the Sparks Municipal Code. These small lot standards allow for some small lots that are smaller than 6,000 square feet, so long as the maximum density does not exceed 7.3 dwelling units per acre, and the undeveloped portion of the site is deed restricted. Lot numbers affected are denoted as shaded lots on the slide and Exhibit 5 in your packets. Undeveloped common area that totals 10.67 acres will remain undeveloped, that is deed restricted from future development in compliance with the city's small lot standards, that is in condition 14. The common area near Village 3 is expected to be a park component and is already a separate parcel from the rest of Village 3. So with the background and analysis done, we can move on to the findings the City Council must consider. This tentative map request, again, for a 211-lot single-family subdivision with small lot standards applied to 128 lots, as shown on the tentative map. The proposed subdivision will provide additional residential units in Sparks consistent with the agreement, advancing goals H2, H3, and policies CC8 and H1. Tentative map plans show sidewalks will be provided on both sides of the local and collector streets, providing access to the lots, complying with policy C4. And plans for the provision of water, sewer, streets, and stormwater infrastructure were contemplated with the approval of the development agreement. Subject to these improvements, the city services can be provided at acceptable levels to serve the 211 lots proposed with this tentative map, complying with policy CF1. For conformance with the city's street master plan per finding T2, project access is provided from Highland Ranch Parkway. In support of finding T2, also street improvements to widen the segment of Highland Ranch Parkway from Pyramid Way to Five Ridges Parkway and improve the intersection of Pyramid Way and Highland Ranch Parkway, and geometric modifications to accommodate the widening of Highland Ranch Road between the two signals is underway and are anticipated to be completed by fall of 2026 to spring of 2027. And in support of finding T7, trip generation for this tentative map request is as estimated at 1,918 average daily trips with 196 PM peak hour trips. These trips were analyzed in comparison with the previous 2020 trip generation update that was dated in April of 2020 and found to be less than those that were estimated at that time. In addition, as the updated study does not evaluate whether construction in villages 3 and 7 will degrade the LOS, the level of service, on Highland Ranch Parkway or its intersection with Pyramid Way, below the thresholds identified in the agreement and thereby trigger off-site improvements set forth in the development agreement, Condition 17 requires a traffic analysis evaluating these LOS thresholds be provided prior to approving a final map to determine if the off-site improvements will be required with this subdivision. So moving on to finding T3, agencies that regulate environmental impacts did not provide comments with this application. However, the developer must meet local, county, and state requirements regarding environmental impacts per Condition 6. Finding T4 focuses on the availability of water to serve the site. Here, the domestic water requirement for 211 single-family residential units is estimated at 101.5 acre-feet per year. Municipal water service will be provided by Sun Valley General Improvement District. Finding T5 looks at the availability of utilities to serve the site, including sewer and storm drain capacity. The 211 units are estimated to generate 189,900 gallons of sewage per day. The applicant is required to provide evidence that there is adequate sewer capacity to serve the project prior to approving a final map and construct sewer capacity improvements consistent with the development agreement if necessary. And a final stormwater and drainage plan for the development must also be approved prior to approving the final map. Finding T6 looks at the availability of schools, police, transportation, and parks. For schools, the project site is zoned for Hall Elementary School, Shaw Middle School, and Spanish Springs High School. The school district did not provide comments regarding this tentative map request. The Sparks Police Department will provide services to the site. They expressed no concern with the current proposal. As previously discussed, roadway network improvements needed to accommodate the Five Ridges project are identified by the DA or in the DA and will be installed consistent with thresholds in that agreement. Regarding parks, there are no community or regional parks planned in the Five Ridges project site. However, small private parks are available to the residents. The closest public park to the subdivision proposed by this tentative map is Highland Ranch Park, which is approximately half mile to the west of the project site and located on the south side of Highland Ranch Parkway. Finding T8 addresses floodplain slopes and soil. The lots proposed with the subdivision do not fall within the 100-year floodplain. For slopes, the project site has already been graded in compliance with the existing CUP, which is CU 22-003, allowing for development of slopes, hilltops, and ridges. And there is a grading permit for phase 2 of this that is currently under review and almost ready to issue. An operations and maintenance manual that identifies ongoing and long-term maintenance of created slopes in common areas for use by the Landscape Maintenance Association, LMA, or Homeowners Association, the HOA, must be submitted for review and approval by the administrator prior to the approval of a final map, condition 13. For soils, a final geotechnical report is required at the time of the final map. In regard to outside agency responses, per finding T9, no comments were provided. In finding T10, asked you to consider the availability of fire protection services. Both Villages 3 and 7 sites are located outside the department's 4-minute travel time standard, and thus dwelling units are required to have sprinklers unless dwelling units become located within the 4-minute travel time due to the construction of the 6th fire station. Pardon me. Finding T11 looks to other impacts identified by staff's analysis of the proposal. So here we've identified landscaping and architecture for the residences. Condition 18 requires final architectural elevations be approved prior to approving a final map. And conditions 13 and 19 requires landscaping plans be submitted prior to the approval of a final map that will include landscaping strips, a minimum of 5 feet in width, are located on the exterior side yard of corner lots between residential fences and sidewalks. And finally, finding T12 requires the public be notified of this item, the posting of the agenda for this meeting, and the city council serve to provide noticing to the public. As of today, we've received no public comment. So staff and planning commission recommend approval to the city council for this tentative map request. With that, I'll conclude my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions, and the representative of the applicant is here as well.
Questions from the council? Joe?
Hi, thanks. That's a lot of information, right?
Yes, it is.
I do just have a quick question on the trip generation letter. It's in the exhibit A. I don't know if we can look at that real quick. It's exhibit. I don't know if you have that. Just a quick question on the math. I'm sorry, I'm an Army guy, so bear with me. So
on the map, so you see the map. Here.
I see the date, so the units that we're looking to approve is 211, correct? So I'm looking at the peak hour, like for the morning is 156. Are we just assuming that there's like only one vehicle per house? I mean, are we looking, if there's a couple or someone's cohabitating or anything like that, or?
The trip generation letter was provided using the ITE, or I think it's International Traffic Engineers, national data that is used all across the country for the number of trips generated per residential unit. It's a standard that's applied, and that's through many, many years of analysis of trips. It was stamped by a traffic engineer as being correct.
So I just want to make sure, because we've had some issues in the past with traffic up there, so I just want to be sure, so staff's believing that there's not going to be any further traffic problems.
The development agreement did, and perhaps, Sienna may be able to assist with that because she was a party to that development agreement formation as to what levels of traffic trigger what actions.
Thank you, Mayor Lawson, members of the City Council. For the record, Sienna Reed, City Planner. As Deanie was describing, there is a development agreement that has quite a few regulations related to traffic for 5 Ridges. And so All development that has come forward to date has been compliant with those regulations. The way that the development agreement works is that if 650 certificates of occupancy are issued, then the improvements that Danny described for widening of Highland Ranch Parkway and then the intersection improvements at Highland and Pyramid, those have to be installed. Also, if there's a degradation of level of service below our policy levels of service, they have to be installed. So that's why we have the conditions on this tentative map as they're currently written. But as Danny did describe, all of those improvements are underway. And those are the improvements that were initially identified to mitigate the impact of Five Ridges for traffic. So really staff has been, tracking impacts to traffic since day one when the development agreement was adopted, and then checking over time as each of these subdivisions has come through, making sure that neither of the thresholds are being dropped below. And so ultimately, our engineering staff has reviewed the request. They're comfortable with the trip generation letter that was provided, and then they're comfortable with the conditions for the tentative map, and that it ultimately, everything complies with the development agreement.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, with that, then I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Rodriguez.
I move to approve the tentative plan request STM 25-0004 associated with PCN 19-0040 for villages 3 and 7 of the Five Ridges development, adopting findings T1 through T12 and the facts supporting these findings as set forth in the staff report is subject to the conditions of approval 1 through 19.
Ms. Vanderwell.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk, thank you, ladies. Madam Clerk, 9.6, first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the first reading of Bill number 2850 to amend Sparks Municipal Code, Section 15.05.107.7.1 regarding refunding of fees paid by applicants for building permit applications. A public hearing will be held and Bill 2850 will be acted upon at the regular meeting of the Sparks City Council on Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 2 p.m.
All right. First reading, 9.7.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is first reading of Bill number 2852, an ordinance amending Chapter 14 of the Sparks Municipal Code, Fire Prevention and Protection, to adopt the 2024 International Fire Code and related appendices, 2024 International Wildland Urban Interface Code, and other related fire protection codes and amendments, and providing other matters properly related thereto. A public hearing will be held and Bill 2852 will be acted upon at the regular meeting of the Sparks City Council on Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 2 p.m.
Okay, 9.8, first reading.
This is the first reading of Bill number 2853 for consideration of a development agreement, AC 6186, by and between the City of Sparks and Northern Nevada Community Housing Resource Board for planning and development of a 0.96 acre site located at 306 10th Street, Sparks, Nevada, APN 032-19117, PCN 260002, DA 26001. A public hearing will be held and Bill 2853 will be acted upon at the regular meeting of the Sparks City Council on Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 2 p.m.
Okay, and last first reading, 9.9, Madam Clerk.
We saved the longest for last, Mr. Mayor. This is the first reading of Bill number 2854 to modify a final approved plan for the Kylie Ranch North Plan Development, Kylie Ranch North Phase 3 Final Handbook to 1, reduce the required minimum floor area ratio, FAR, applicable to villages 13 and 15 from 0.25 to 0.18. 2, revise commercial architectural standards related to roof forms to include allowances for flat roofs. And 3, allocate trips based on previously approved traffic analysis to villages 13, 15, 25, and 26 on a 98.4 acre site generally located east of Pyramid Way and west of David Allen Parkway, south of Wingfield Hills Road, and north of Sparks Boulevard, Sparks, Nevada. APNs 083-241-1922 and 083-83074 and 083-83075 in the NUD New Urban District, Kylie Ranch North Phase 3 Plan Development Zoning District. A public hearing will be held and Bill 2854 will be acted upon at the regular meeting of the Sparks City Council on Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 2 p.m.
Okay, you caught your breath?
I have.
All
We're
right,
good.
10.1, public hearing.
And Mr. Mayor, this is public hearing consideration and possible approval of an electrical system franchise agreement, AC 6190, between the City of Sparks and Sierra Pacific Power Company.
Ms. McCormick.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. For the record, I'm Allison McCormick, your Assistant City Manager. With your leave, I'd like to present item 10.1 and 10.2 together. Thank you, sir. Item 10.1 is a new franchise agreement for electrical services, and item 10.2 is a new franchise agreement for natural gas services. The current contracts were initially approved in 2006 and expire this month. The new contracts provide an initial 10-year term with 2 options to extend for 5 years each after that, so a potential 20-year term. The new agreements also include the 5% franchise fee on gross receipts that was included in both of the prior agreements as well. That is the maximum allowed by Nevada law. The gas contract's substantive terms are essentially the same as the prior agreement, but there are some key changes in the electrical services agreement. First, it requires Nevada Energy to fix any infrastructure that it damages, including other utilities or right-of-way. It also allows the city and NV Energy to collaborate on blanket permits for their regular maintenance work in our right-of-way. The agreement would require NV Energy to complete any maintenance or repairs that the city identifies as needed within 21 days of notice from the city. That could include trees, graffiti, streetlights that are out, those kinds of maintenance issues. If those changes are not made within 30 days, NV Energy would owe the city a $50 per day fine. The electrical service agreement also provides for a new quarterly franchise fee report. In the past, NV Energy had provided that to the city annually. And last but not least, the electrical agreement would provide for the city and NV Energy to collaborate to accelerate converting all of our streetlights in the city to LEDs with a target date of December 31 of 2028 for that work to be completed. I would like to thank Jessica Coberly in the City Attorney's Office for driving the negotiations on these agreements for the city. As a reminder, both of these items require a public hearing. Ryan Bellows from NV Energy is here and would like to say a few words. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, questions from the council? All right, then open it up for public comment. Anyone in the public wishing to comment on 10.1 only? Ryan, you want to comment? Come on. Sparks prodigal son.
Santa Lupe Avenue.
That's right. Well, good afternoon, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Ryan Bellows. I serve as the Vice President and General Counsel for NV Energy. And in my role at NV Energy, I get to work with cities and counties across the state. We serve over 90% of the state. So it's certainly a privilege today to be in my hometown where I still reside. And so it's great to be here. Wanted to just thank and congratulate the city on just such a great partnership that we've had over these past several decades to really provide infrastructure for our Sparks residents, and just want to thank especially city staff and the city attorney's office who have been really just great to work with throughout this renewal process. I'll just be super brief. So these agreements that are before you today really just reflect decades of cooperation between the city and NV Energy to provide power in a reliable manner, in a safe manner, and in an affordable manner. The agreements govern how we use our rights of way, and also how we operate and maintain and how we modernize our infrastructure. And so really the agreements protect the city's interests also to ensure that there's continued coordination between us and also accountability and transparency. And so as the energy sector evolves and looking forward, these agreements really position us to continue collaborating together to promote future growth, redevelopment, and economic development. And so we are committed to being a good partner going forward, to maintaining open communication with the city and with residents and supporting the city's long-term goals. We appreciate the trust that these renewals place in us and don't take that lightly. And so we respectfully request your approval of these agreements. We thank you for your continued partnership. I'm happy to answer any questions as well.
Any questions, especially from the unofficial streetlight code enforcement councilman?
Gladly. I can always throw a few in for your, I do enjoy my streetlights, that's for sure. So Mr. Bellows, thank you for being here. Mr. Mayor alluded a little bit, definitely turning streetlights in is kind of turned into a passion hobby. I don't know if hobby is the right word, but we're a little crazy, my friends and I. Blessed that Mayor Lawson did show up last time. We rode around Ward 1 and turned in lights, turned in about 80 of them to get fixed. Hopefully got fixed. I'm not going to ride out and check another. I think that time was 30 and time before that was 80. But, I have, to be blunt, I've had some of my own frustrations with NV Energy, especially on the streetlight repair. I turned in a light again. So I turned it in once when Mayor Lawson and I went out. I turned it in 24 days ago, right here at City Hall. It is still out. On the website, it says within 21 days. My own street light in front of my house took me, I think, 7 weeks to do. I had to use my city email to get that done. So I'm hoping that we can improve this relationship with getting these lights fixed. I've had neighbors, my friends' parents, reach out to me just to fix a light. And I just don't think, I love helping my community, help serving our role, but I don't think that's a role that I should be in some days. So looking forward to, hopefully we stay true to the 21 days to 30 days. That's a reasonable amount of time. So I guess I'm curious on some of the reporting. What are we going to be able to see? Because when I was trying to go out and turn in these lights, I couldn't get a map from y'all. And I get there's critical information, but there's also, I'm trying to just check lights. I'm trying to, we're just trying to be out there. So I guess what are we going to be able to get from you?
Well, first, let me just thank you for your vigilance in tracking those and reporting those, and apologize where we've fallen short in getting those repaired and maintained in an efficient manner. And so we hope to put our best foot forward in this new agreement. We have agreed to accelerate even the LED conversion there. As far as the reporting goes, we can provide those maps. Let's maybe we could take this offline and I can provide kind of an overview. We went through this same kind of reporting, improving these reports with the city of Reno. And so happy to do exactly what we're doing there. I think that's been more meaningful the way we've addressed it there.
Okay. And then I guess would that reporting be, if I may, Mayor, continue on?
Hey, we're in public comment, but okay.
You called on me.
Go ahead. Get it off your chest. This is like therapy, Ryan, so
That's okay, go
bear
for
with
it.
us.
Just don't send me the bill. So I guess on that reporting, would that show like how often y'all are hitting the goals of the 21 days?
We can do that, absolutely.
That'd be awesome. And then I guess just thinking on the repairs, and I've had frustration of lights being told to me that they were fixed and they weren't. So just putting that out there, I don't know if there's any checks and balances of, because I don't mind driving and I'll spot check if you, and they weren't fixed when I was told they were. So just however we can capture that report and make sure it's accurate, that'd be important to me.
Yeah.
I am thankful that we're looking to convert lights by 2028. That will save us some money. And I think we definitely should connect offline because I know we had some frustrations in our financial side of trying to get that accurate statements of what we are paying and all that. So I'm looking forward to this. I think it's a good first step. Maybe not first step, but a better step into the future on what we can do with our partnership between the two of us.
Thank you. Appreciate the feedback. We'll incorporate it.
Anyone else have some therapy they need?
Go turning your lights in your own ward. You might get a little.
Going with you is enough. Okay. Thanks, Ryan. Anyone else in the public wishing to speak on this item? I'm going to bring it back to the dais, and we are going to look for a motion. On 10.1, that's which one we're voting on. Ms. Spivey.
I move to approve the electrical system franchise agreement AC 6190 between the City of Sparks and Sierra Pacific Power Company.
Mr. Anderson,
Second the motion?
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. All right, let's move on to 10.2. Any other things you want to add, Allison?
Nothing from me unless there are questions.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
this is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on 10.2?
Could we read the title into the record, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, that's true. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. This is public hearing, consideration and possible approval of a natural gas franchise agreement, AC 6188, between the City of Sparks and Sierra Pacific Power Company.
Okay, now we'll open it up for public comment. Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the dais. I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Abbott,
I move to approve the natural gas franchise agreement, AC-6188, between the City of Sparks and the Sierra Pacific Power Company.
Mr. Anderson.
I'll second the motion.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. McCormick. We have no planning and zoning items. Comment from the public. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment?
We did not receive any additional public
From the
comment.
public wishing to speak at this time? All right, we'll go to announcements from the mayor, city council, city manager. Mr. Manager, you got anything?
Yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to our dispatchers, professional staff, all they do. They are unsung heroes. They do a lot of great work. I've had the fortunate opportunity to sit with them a little bit, listen to them work, and they are exceptionally gifted, and thank you for all you do and all your teams do, so appreciate it.
They put the multi and multitasking, for sure. Anyone else on the dais have anything? Mr. Abbott?
Yeah, somber news. I think a few of us know that Mr. Bill Wagner, one of our favorite public commenters, did pass away a couple weeks ago. So sadly, we won't see him here anymore. But if I hear anything, I'll let you guys know about services. But he definitely was Sparks. He wasn't born here, but he chose here, and he loved being a part of our community, asking all the questions that many of us have answered, from staff to us, as well as serving on the Sparks Citizen Advisory Committee, and just he cared about Sparks, and so definitely we'll miss him. And I know we reached out and let his wife know, but just want to pass it on to everyone.
And have we sent that card yet, Mr. Manager? I know Cindy got sick, so.
I'll confirm it, but I do not know the answer to that, but
If
I'll
you
find
haven't
out.
signed the card and you want to, please stop by the mayor's office and we'll have you sign a card for Bill. He's going to be greatly missed. Asked very insightful questions of us and held ourselves and staff's feet to the fire. Okay, with that, we're on to my favorite subject. We are adjourned. No one, we didn't have anyone. Do we have a redevelopment?
Sure do.
You got a mallet?
I got a mallet.
I got some mallets.
You get sweet therapy today? We're gonna wait. Agency member. Yeah. The goat. The goat. Right back there. In the intermission, I want you all to learn things or me about. All right. Good.
Oh. She's not.
Fine.
we good now, Nick?
Parks Redevelopment Agency meeting to order with a roll call.
Chairperson Abbott.
Here.
Agency members Lawson. Bybee.
Here.
Vanderwell.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
Chief Legal Officer Duncan.
Here.
Chief Administrative Officer Lawson.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll go to public comment. Do we have any public comment?
We do not.
Anyone here? Perfect. We go to 4.1, approval of the agenda. Looking for a motion. Agency Member Vanderwell.
I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Thank you. Agency Member Anderson.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Item 5.1, consideration, discussion, possible approval of the minutes of the Sparks Redevelopment Agency meeting for March 23rd, 2026. Agency Member Rodriguez.
Sparks Redevelopment Agency meeting for March 23rd, 2026.
Awesome. Thank you. Agency Member Bybee.
I will second that motion.
Perfect. We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Item 6.1, consideration and possible acceptance of the report of the claims and bills for payments and appropriation transfers for the period March 11th, 2026 through March 31st, 2026. Agency Member Anderson.
Move to accept the report of claims and bills and appropriation transfers for the period March 11th, 2026 through March 31st, 2026.
Thank you. Agency Member Rodriguez.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Item 7.1, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of a professional service contract AC-SRA-335 with Van Ward Bugatti Architects in the amount of $3,725,000 for architectural design services related to the development of the new Sparks City Hall project. Mr. Kaysen.
Get this pulled up real quick.
All righty. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the Redevelopment Agency. My name is Brian Kaysen, Capital Projects Manager. I'm excited to be before you today to request approval of a professional services contract with Van Wart Bugatti Architects to begin the design of a new Sparks City Hall. This contract is in the amount of $3,725,000 for architectural and engineering design services. Why a new city hall? The current facility was built in 1969. And to quote the great Jim Rundle, that was the same year man landed on the moon. At the time, the city had about 24,000 residents. And of course, today, the city serves over 115,000 residents. The current facility is at capacity and experiencing ongoing infrastructure issues. While we continue to invest in repairs, those efforts extend the life of the building, but do not address its functional limitations. First of all, bring up, you'll turn your attention to the monitors, bring up an overview of redevelopment area 2C. It's outlined in orange, or kind of yellow-orange, and includes the Sparks Marina, Legends, and a number of other commercial buildings. The lot right here outlined in red is the proposed site for the new city hall. This project is funded through Redevelopment Area 2 using tax increment funding. And these funds are restricted by Nevada state law and must be used for redevelopment purposes within this district. They cannot be used for salaries, operations, or general city services. A new city hall within the redevelopment area is an eligible use and aligns with the redevelopment plan. So what procurement process did we use? The city issued a request for qualifications in January and 4 firms submitted proposals. A 7-member evaluation committee reviewed the proposals through a 2-phase process. The first phase was rating and scoring the proposals that were received. And then the second phase was bringing all 4 of those firms in to provide a presentation and an interview, go through an interview process. Following interviews, the committee determined that Van Wert Bugatti Architects provided the greatest overall value to the city. So why did we choose Van Wert Bugatti? Why are we recommending them? They were selected based on their vast public facility experience, their strong project approach and design concepts, their construction manager at risk or CMAR experience, which is the process we're using to build this city hall, and then their local team presence. So again, if you'll turn your attention to the monitors, I'll show you a few examples of projects that they've completed over the last few years that are public related and just show kind of an idea of what their design types are. The first one is the Moana Springs Community Aquatics and Fitness Center down in Southwest Reno. That's a beautiful facility, and if you haven't been there before, I recommend you go in and visit that facility. The second one is the Great Basin College Health Science and Technology Building. That's in Winnemucca, Nevada. All these items that I'm showing you were constructed in northern Nevada. And then out in Battle Mountain, this is the Lander County Courthouse and Administration Building. The fourth one was, in my mind, a very difficult project. This is the old Hug High high school area, and they used not only existing buildings, but also constructed new buildings on that site and have designed a fantastic Debbie Smith Career and Technology Academy that is a very nice campus for what they had to start with. And then the last one I'm going to show you is the UNR Pennington Health Science Building up at the University of Nevada, Reno. So like I said, these are just 5 examples of projects they've completed. There's many, many more, but these just highlight some of their different styles and thought processes within and outside of buildings. So their fee proposals were sealed until after selection, consistent with Nevada law. The contract includes a phase 1, which consists of the programming, space planning, and preliminary design phase, and that's in the amount of $125,000. Phase 2 is the final design and development, and that's in the amount of $3,600,000. That's the meat of it. Takes the most time, and their total proposed contract is $3,725,000. So what are the next steps? Well, pending approval, we will begin with the project kickoff in April and start the programming and space planning process. And then in May, concurrent with the programming space planning, we will be starting the CMAR selection process, which is guided by NRS. So there's a lot of details we have to follow for that part of it. And then finally, we're anticipating, or our goal is for starting the actual design and development towards the end of summer of this year. In closing, the contract allows the city to move forward with a well-planned design process and positions us to deliver a city hall that serves our community both now and into the future. Using Redevelopment Area 2 funding, staff recommends approval of a contract with Van Wert Bugatti Architects in the amount of $3,725,000. And the architect does have representatives here if you would like them to introduce themselves, and otherwise I would be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions? I don't see any questions. Plus a foot. Cool, then I'm looking for a motion. Agency member Anderson.
I move to approve the professional services contract AC SRA 335 with Van Wert Bugatti architects in the amount of $3,725,000 for architectural design services related to the development of the new Sparks City Council or City Hall project.
Awesome. Thank you. Agency Member Rodriguez. We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Awesome.
Could we get the, since they're here, could we get the team just to introduce themselves?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good to me. If you guys want to come on down. I made an assumption it was you four that are here for this.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. I'm Angela Bigotti, here with my three partners from Van Wert Bigotti, Brad Van Wert, Nancy Moore, and Danielle Fabry. And we're all here. We're truly honored to be here and be selected to design the new City Hall for Sparks. Our firm has been working with public agencies across Northern Nevada for more than 50 years, but this one is especially meaningful. Sparks is our hometown. I've lived here my whole life, over 59 years, and both my partner, Brad, and I grew up right here in Sparks. Being part of a project like this in the community that shaped us is incredibly special. For us, a city hall is more than a place for governance, especially in a town like ours. It should be a landmark and a gathering place, a home for community events, and a building people feel proud of, a place that reflects who we are and brings people together. We look forward to working with all of you and bringing our experience, our leadership, and our creativity to the process to help make this a building that exceeds expectations for Sparks. Thank you very much for this opportunity. We're excited to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Groovy. We'll go on to items of 8.1, comments from the public. Do we have any public comment? Perfect. See none. We'll close that and go to 8.2, announcements from the agency and chief administrative officer. Anybody got anything?
I'll just go quickly. We are very excited as well to start this project. We thank everybody here for supporting that. We're excited with the team that we have out there to partner with us to try to produce something great for the city of Sparks for decades to come. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Agency Member Vanderwell.
Well, and I'd like to say thank you too, but I'd also like to share, Angela and I went to high school together. So Reed Rader will be building our new Sparks City Hall.
I'm gonna just plead the fifth, you know, I won't make any statements on the record. No, excited to have that, it really is. Anyone else? Perfect, then we'll close that and we'll adjourn at 4:07. Have a good one.